we're going to survey the entire state and share those results with you as well. Let's talk about direct mail. That was the first one that we talked about, direct mail. The most successful activities considering the time and money investment that you had to have. Here's how it laid out. I don't want you to get hung up on the numbers so much that you see because the numbers will vary, but it's more of the order and the actual activities that you see. It was donations, awareness, and volunteers. Donations, awareness, and volunteers were the top three when people used direct mail. That's where they saw the most success and the most return on their investment for their time and money. The next group that was least successful was event attendance, donations, and memberships. Now, just a little side note here, you notice that donations was the top one for as far as success, but then it was also in the bottom group as far as least successful. And I want to kind of explain why you might see a particular activity in both the most successful and the least successful. Simply put, it's because certain people may have sent out a certain mailer at a particular time to a particular group looking for a particular thing. They may have only did it once and had a return that they didn't think was successful, things like that. So that's going to play into it. So those aren't numbers that we would throw out or put us off very much. We can see that from time to time. But donations, awareness, and volunteers were the number one things that people got a response from when they used direct mail. Now, when they used phone calling, the most successful activities they had were donation, volunteers, and event attendance. You can kind of see we're kind of started to set a pattern early already. Simply picking up the phone and talking to people always helps. So those were the top three for using the phone, whether it's individuals or group calls, whatever the case may be, like a phone-a-thon or a telephone. The bottom group, the least successful activities, considering time and money, were newsletters, awareness, and then there was a group of others. That others is multiple things that are all about the same, so we just lumped them in there. But you can see calling people to say, hey, would you sign up for a newsletter, didn't give them a great response, or calling people just to tell them, hey, we're here, did you know about us? It wasn't a great response for them. They had a better response when they were talking to people about donating money, donating their time, and coming to an event that they were putting on. That's where they experienced the most success when they used the phone. Email. Email, we're kind of getting a little more high-tech, if you will, going up a step here with tech availability. People experienced in the email sections here, their most successful activities were getting people to come out to an event, awareness of what they were doing for their organization, and gaining volunteers. So sending out those email blasts to like current supporters, people on your email list, that's where you found the most successful activities, And donations was a close fourth. I'll call it an honorable mention. It's always seemed to be in the top as well. The least successful activities using the email blast, etc., were memberships, online stores, and testimonials. It wasn't a great response if you sent out an email and say, hey, become a member. And there are certain nonprofits that do have memberships, like a YMCA and similar organizations, so they are asking for those things. That was just the least successful. The online store is something, hey, buy some product we have that we're selling in our online store, if you will. They didn't get a great response there, as well as asking for stories and testimonials. It wasn't a great response through using an email blast. Wanted to let you know that we're going to talk about those because those are hugely important here in just a few minutes, okay, about sharing stories and testimonials. Major impact on nonprofits. Website, kind of taking it up even another notch here, website. And website is a collect-all. It's a place where people get funneled to, of course. Look at the numbers that we have here. The most successful activities they had and a great return on their investment using the website was getting donations, bringing awareness, and event attendance. That really didn't surprise me. The numbers were up a little higher than I thought, but the order necessarily didn't surprise me or anybody that much at all. But this is a great thing to notice. You are having people donate online. You're telling your story, bringing awareness to people online through your website, and people obviously coming to the website to register for an event that you have. Those are great, solid numbers. Now, the website for the least successful activities and return on the investment was volunteers, event attendance, and social media. The volunteers, the problem that we saw there, and I've had comments, again, I'm taking all not only the raw numbers, but the comments made on your surveys as well. We put these all in the context was because people weren't going to the website necessarily to register to volunteer. Not surprising. Again, you see a little bit of duplicity here with the event attendance in the top 3 and then also in the bottom 3. Again, it depends on what the event was, the time of year. Did somebody do it once and never tried it again? That type of thing, the level of success they may have had. And then social media. Social media was there. People would come to the website, but they wouldn't necessarily directly go to a Facebook or a Twitter or some other social media to be active and interactive with them, having a dialogue instead of a monologue from a website point of view. All right? Some takeaways so far, okay? We're about halfway through or so, maybe just a few more minutes, and we want to take some takeaways from what we've already discussed. The top 5 most successful activities across all marketing methods, and I know some of you might be taking notes. Don't worry, you're going to get this recording. That's no problem. You can look at it again and write these down. If you are taking notes, great. But the top five most successful activities across all marketing methods, no matter what they were, that they got feedback on was donations, awareness, event attendees, volunteers, and newsletters, and they were in that order. So the most successful things were getting donations through marketing methods, awareness, then event attendees, and so on. The least successful activities were gaining membership, selling something online through an online store, or space rental. For instance, that would be, for some of you who may not be aware, certain nonprofits have a room to rent, a facility to rent, things like that. And so that would be a space rental. Auctions and testimonials, again, there. So that's what we can take away so far. That's the top 5 best successful activities and the least successful activities across all of the different ways people can market. So you can pull some information from there to help your organization go forward. The last one I want to kind of talk about as we kind of go down to this, the last marketing method, I should say, is the online advertising. Interestingly here, I have to ask the question, is your nonprofit using online advertising? Has it thought about using it? Because the results that we had are telling us that people really haven't used it. It was not really existent, to be honest. And so we're finding out that people weren't using it so much. The question to ask is, why? Why aren't people using it? Is it because of lack of staff, maybe lack of technical knowledge, budget concerns, or fear of the unknown? Haven't done it before, so I'm not sure how it works. We've always phone called, we've always sent emails, we've always done direct mails. Never done this before. Maybe that's part of it, we don't know. And so, but maybe you can answer that as I'm asking you the question. Here's the key, though. This is the big takeaway from understanding online advertising. 75% of potential supporters are going online to determine where they give their time and their money. That's a huge, staggering number. That's a stat that we need to ingrain in our brain. They're online looking. Where do I want to give my time and my money? What is it that I'm passionate about? So the question I then ask is, are we meeting them there? Are we getting to them? They're there waiting. They're there searching. Are we meeting them there? The most successful activities that we have all throughout the results of the survey, they had one common thread, and that was simply this. Supporters connected online through a website. The website was the place they came to, but they connected online to get there in some way. So that online connection, that online advertising is a huge link to connect with, because that's where it all comes from. That's where they're coming from. But see, the problem I also think is most supporters are generally directed to a website. In other words, they are told to go to a website. Hey, we sent out a mailer, let's say, or we talked to our friends. Go to the website and register. We want to go to an event, go to the website. You want to give, go to the website. Nobody's just finding it or stumbling on the website. Very few people stumble on the nonprofit's website. There's so much out there. Again, that's why that online advertising is such a key, is to meet them where they're at already. But most people are directed to a website. They don't just stumble on it. The problem is most websites are simply a billboard in the desert. We can have a great website, and you must, let me repeat, you must have a great website. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you have to have a great website that has all the connections and all the places for them to go, tell your stories, to donate, all those things. But the problem is it's just a website by itself is just simply a billboard in the desert. That's the problem. Now the solution is websites need to be a billboard in Times Square. That's where people see it. That's the visibility. People get to see it more than in the desert, obviously. So it's critical to have people come to your website, because what do you want to do at your website? You want to connect, engage, and build relationships. If there's one thing I can tell you to take away is to build your supporter base, to build that larger, to expand. And we're going to talk about the dream comments that you have in here in just about another minute. You want to expand. Many of you said you want to expand and do different things. That means you're going to have to expand your supporter base. In order to do that, you have to connect and engage and build relationships before they really truly become that supporter. And that's how you need to do it, is simply by getting better visibility to them. Here is 2 real-life examples of what exactly happened through someone switching the way they did things, taking their website from a billboard in the desert to a billboard in Times Square. And some of you who are local may know these 2 organizations. I know them both very well. The Dixie Sternwheeler, known as the Dixie Boat, and the North Webster Community Center. An average between the 2, because they were both very close, and sharing the numbers that they actually had here, they were receiving less than 250 website visitors per week. Now they're receiving 1,100 to 2,100 visitors per week. That's going from the desert to Times Square. They weren't promoting their mission through their most commonly used search tools, but now they're getting it out in front of tens and even hundreds of thousands of people to at least see it, and have those people actually come to their website. And the key is, and we're going to talk about it in just one second because we're almost done, we've got about maybe 7 more minutes left, is they got to tell their story and connect and engage. Therefore, they can gain a new supporter or enhance an existing supporter maybe. So I know it's getting close to Thanksgiving, so I asked the question, my favorite pie, pumpkin pie, is anyone ready for some pie? Well, supporters and income are the pie. People who support us volunteer-wise, donate money, they're kind of our pie. We all have a pie that we're working with. There's only so much pie to go around, right? Well, maybe not like at least what we have thought. See, now more than ever, nonprofits are asked to do more, be more, serve more. And like I said, I'm on the board of 2 of them. I know firsthand, we're trying to do more with less, it seems like. That's what happens to most nonprofits, to do more with less. So is the answer to do more, or to do less and serve less? I don't think anybody involved in a nonprofit, because their heart wants to do that. They want to do more. The needs are more now than they've ever been. I would say absolutely not. So what's the key? The answer is to have a bigger pie. You know, we had that little pumpkin pie in the hands earlier. Now we just need to have this big pie. And that's where your dream questions from the survey came in. We asked about a dream. That's what you wanted to do. I heard some amazing, inspiring things and read those in your dream question answers. One group said they want to expand to overseas. One said they want to expand from the county they're at to reach 5 and 6 counties around them and expand the reach within those counties. We had people say that they want to start a brand new project that was going to take, $1 million+ to do. Those are all inspiring dreams, and that's the key, is to have a bigger pie. You've got to have a bigger pie to do that, because the existing pie probably isn't going to get you to that point. Continuing with some trends now. We want to go with trends. We talked about the survey results. Now I want to talk to you about the trends for the next couple of minutes and the grants for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be closing up, so just hang with. Here's the trends that we see. And first, let me tell you, what you're seeing on the screen is by no means the end of all these statistics. I've only picked out some and highlighted some. I'm going to make sure you get sent a free report on all these, where we got all this information and more. Then you can look over them for yourself and your board as well. These are great stats to have and understand about giving and online trends with that. Donations, online donations. The giving was up 14% in 2013. There's about a 24% retention of the first-year donor. So somebody who comes on as a first-year donor online, they're retaining about a quarter of those people. That's a great thing to have, as those people who stay with you year after year. 84% of Gen Yers, that 30-ish range, age of about 30, they donated or wanted to donate via a website. That was almost 100% wanted to do something through a website. But do they know you're there? Is it the desert or the Times Square? 40% of all respondents donated between $1 and $50 in 2012. Another 23% gave between $51 and $100 in 2012 via websites, online giving. The average for 2012 was $77. That's a great gift. That's an awesome gift. Now, not all gifts are less than $100. There were 5 organizations in the report that I'm talking about, which, like I said, we'll give that to you free. I'll send it to you free. It's just for you to have. Great information. 5 organizations reported online gifts of over $100,000. A one-time gift. Somebody just gave $100,000. One was $150,000, one was $125,000, that I remember. Online, they gave that. So it's incredible to make sure that we have those things in place. Volunteers, because it's not only about money for nonprofits. Nonprofits weigh heavily on volunteers. It's people and money, we know that, but people are integral to making that happen. In the same statistics, in the same report, 60% said they like when nonprofits share success stories. 56% confirmed storytelling is what motivated them to give and volunteer. And 46% of those same Gen Yers were inspired to act or volunteer because they heard a story. That is the key for nonprofits, is to tell your story as far and as wide as you possibly can. And we have to go from that small pie to that big pie to tell the story to more people. That's really what it's all about, to help you. Getting that story out is what connects them. That's what makes them donate their time and their money, their talents and their treasure, if you will. Last thing I want to talk to you about just for a couple minutes before we let you go. We mentioned that there were grants. So we talked about surveys and the trends where things are going. Grants. There are online advertising grants worth up to $120,000 per year. They're available for qualified organizations. And it's very simple to find out if you're eligible. I'll talk about that in just one moment. But those grants, $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year, I think would help most nonprofits that I'm aware of to move their website, move their activities from the desert to Times Square, to get people to see them, know they exist, connect with them, tell the story, then gain supporters in person and donation-wise. The visibility equals visitors, and visitors equals a bigger pie. You see, I got pie on the mind. It's close to Thanksgiving. Sorry about that. So the more visibility you have, the more visitors. The more people you have visiting, the more you have a chance to tell them your story. And remember the top 5 activities we talked about earlier, right here at the bottom of your screen: donations, awareness, event attendees, volunteers, and newsletters. That's where getting that bigger pie comes from, more people hearing the story. Quick review, and we're almost done. Again, I wanted to monitor our time to make sure. I'm here to serve you. Don't worry. You can contact me anytime for any questions, but let me just quickly review. We've got a couple more things to let you know about here. A quick review. Advertising for nonprofits is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. It used to be a luxury, but it's not anymore. All methods of advertising have value. We saw that from our survey responses. Direct mail had a great, good response for some people and a great response for others. All of those, if you look at the top 4, if you will, the top main ones of direct mail, phone call, emails, and website, all of them include having that online marketing, making that pie bigger. That's what funnels people into a phone call list, an email list, a mailing list. That's what creates that, is getting the pie bigger, including more people than when you do send out those direct mailers, or when you do make phone calls, or when you do send emails. You have a bigger group of people to call upon to help you fulfill your cause and your mission. The online advertising grants are available for nonprofits. That's an amazing thing, and we'll share about that as well. So what now? Could receiving a $120,000 online advertising grant help you expand your pie? I think it probably could help most. If so, we can help. We offer free grant consultation to see if it's a fit for you, number one, because we know certain people are doing certain things and they want to keep doing certain things. That's fine. Wish you the best, but we know it's a fit for a lot of folks to know if they can even get it and they're eligible, but it can help people expand their pie. So if it's a fit for you, we can talk about that and find out if it is a fit through that consultation. You will be receiving an email from me with a link to the recording of the webinar, so all the information we've shared is going to be there. You don't have to worry about memorizing everything, as well as you can check out your organization's eligibility on the online advertising grant. It's very, very simple, and I'm going to actually show you the link here, updentity.com eligible, the HTTP one, and I'm going to put that in your little chat box, if you will. I know that you can, if I'm check this out early, check this out earlier. I'm sorry, I'm typing as I speak. You can actually hyperlink this. You can click right on it, and you can find out if your organization qualifies with a few simple questions. These are things that the grant donors and awarders need to know. And so I'm putting that in as we speak. Give me just one more second. There we go. You should be able to just hyperlink that. If you click on that, it should take you where you want to go. If I can serve you in any way, we can help you in any way, answer any questions for you. You've got my contact here on the screen. You've got it through emails. Last thing, it has been an absolute joy to spend this last 25 minutes with you. I appreciate your time very much, and I hope you've gotten a lot of information here that you can use. Go back, listen to the webinar again, and you'll be getting a recording of it very soon, probably within the next day or so. Again, my pleasure to join you today. I hope you've got something of value to take back to your organization and your board, and I will be sending you that free information I talked to you about with the report of all the giving statistics and volunteer statistics as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Have an awesome rest of the week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.